Let's walk through the process of creating an automated marketing workflow in Prospyr for sending messages to new leads over time. Navigate to Settings, then to Data, and finally to Workflows. Here, create a new workflow and name it Leads Over Time. The first step is to set up the trigger. Click into the trigger configuration and set it to trigger when a lead form is submitted. This trigger can be activated by any submitted lead form, whether it be a general Contact Us form or a specific lead or booking form. Alternatively, you can specify a particular lead form and only communicate with leads that originate from there. Once the trigger node is set, it's time to decide on the communication method. Let's say you want to send a message immediately after a lead is submitted. Click the plus button to add a new node and select an action type. There are several options available. You could wait, send an email, send an SMS, or add a condition. In this case, since we want to send a message right away, let's choose to send an SMS. The message could be something like, "Thank you for your interest. Our team will be in touch soon." There's also an option to refrain from sending this message if the patient has recently sent an inbound message. Great! The first message is set up. Now, let's say we want to wait for a certain period before the next communication step. Proceed to the Wait option. Let's assume we want to wait for 4 days. Next, suppose we want to establish a condition. Setting up conditions is quite straightforward. Simply describe in plain English what you want to happen. For instance, you could say, "The patient has no upcoming appointments." Once you've defined the condition, click on Generate, and our system will handle the rest. Next, configure the outcomes for both yes and no scenarios. If a patient has no upcoming appointments, perhaps you'd like to send another message such as, "Why haven't you booked yet?" You can continue this process as well. If, for some reason, they do have an appointment, you might want to wait a bit longer, say 7 days. Then send a different message, perhaps asking for a review. "Please review us on Google." The process can continue. Add another delay, perhaps wait for another 5 days, and then send an SMS. As you can see, a pattern starts to emerge. A lead is submitted, we send a message right away, wait for 4 days, and establish a condition. These conditions can be stacked under each other, creating a comprehensive communication strategy. We also have provision for an exit condition. This is useful for scenarios where you do not wish to engage the patient any further once a certain condition is met. To set up this exit condition, it's a simple process. Type out the condition, click on Generate, and then save the changes. Now, this workflow will terminate at any point where the exit condition holds true. This feature is particularly useful when you have a single exit condition, such as a future appointment. However, the workflow can be built to be as lengthy or as complex as required. To save the workflow, simply click Save. Then, you have the option to enable or disable the workflow. That's all there is to setting up workflows.